Well, Lord John Taylor of Warwick joins us now from his office in Westminster for a peek at what's happening right now as British MPs vote on the Prime Minister's future behind closed doors. So great to talk with you, Lord Taylor. You are, of course, a member of the Conservative Party. Are you for or against the Prime Minister? Do you have confidence in him, or are you a disaffected Conservative?
Hello, Charles. It's good to be with you. Well, a true leader should also be a healer. And at the moment, Boris Johnson is proving to be anything but a healer. He's dividing the party. So I think his time is approaching the end. It may not be tonight, but I think he's wounded politically, beyond healing.
And just explain briefly how the system works, Lord Taylor. Conservative MPs write a letter to a committee called the 1922 Committee, and once a certain number of letters is reached, that vote of confidence will be held. Is that right?
Yes, there have to be 54 letters that go to Sir Graham Brady. He's chairman of the 1922 Committee. He doesn't tell anybody what's going on until that magic number of 54 is reached. And then there is a vote of confidence or no confidence in the Prime Minister. And that's happening between 6 p.m. and 8 p.m. tonight. And the results will be announced at 9 p.m. Now, those who are against the Prime Minister have to be over 180 in the party, more than half. And that's why I suspect the Prime Minister may win the vote tonight. But that only is delaying, I think, his demise, because if, for example, more than 100, and it's a secret vote, if more than 100 vote against him, then I think he's wounded. He'll be limping along. He'll be in office, but not in power. And we saw this with Theresa May a couple of years ago. She won a vote of no confidence, but within weeks she was out because she couldn't get anything passed in terms of bills going through Parliament. She lost that authority once you have a number of people, literally half the party, against you. So he may survive tonight, but I suspect he'll be a dead man walking politically.
That's a very interesting point, because I imagine that there'll be some MPs who do not want to declare publicly that they've lost faith in their leader, even though they might do so privately. The huge danger, as you mentioned, Lord Taylor, for Boris Johnson is that such a vote in Parliament will be an anonymous secret ballot. So there is that uncertainty for him, isn't there?
That's right, because people will be able to vote according to their conscience. But, you know, if he wins the vote tonight, then technically he's safe for 12 months. There can't be another vote for 12 months. But the 1922 Committee can also change the rules to have another vote just a few weeks later. So that's why I think he's in troubled waters.
And one of the big questions, of course, Lord Taylor, hanging over all of this is who will come after him. I mean, there doesn't seem to be any obvious person, is there?
You know, Charles, that's a myth. They always say that. When Margaret Thatcher became the Prime Minister, they said, well, who is the person to take over? And she emerged. John Major, no one predicted that John Major could ever lead the party, but he emerged and became Prime Minister. Same with David Cameron. He wasn't the favourite to become leader of the Conservative Party. So in a way, the government whips are putting over this myth that only Boris Johnson can win for the Conservatives. It's a myth, really, because he did win an 80-seat majority at the last election 2 years ago. But Charles, his opponent was Jeremy Corbyn. I mean, you know, my grandmother could have beaten Jeremy Corbyn. I mean, Jeremy Corbyn would be out of his depth in a puddle, frankly.
And Lord Taylor, you've participated in many previous confidence votes, I imagine. What's it like at Westminster right now? I mean, I imagine a pretty febrile atmosphere.
Well, it is, although, you know, the magic number of 54 was reached over the weekend, but it wasn't revealed to the media because they didn't want to distract from the Queen's Jubilee. And so there's a certain order in all this. I can tell you now, over the last day or two, the government whips will be ringing Conservative backbenchers, promising them all sorts of things: a knighthood, a peerage, if they only support the leader. That's the dark arts of politics, I'm afraid, to promise them things so that they'll stay loyal to the Prime Minister. But hopefully, life is more about choice than chance. And I think they'll have to think about the country. Who is the best leader for the nation going forward, rather than their own careers or what's best for Boris Johnson? And I'd like to think that the MPs who are voting tonight will be putting the nation first. I can't guarantee it, but hopefully they will.
Well, you're clearly one of the rebels in the Conservative Party. I want to thank you very much.
I'm thinking of the nation first. I'm not a rebel.
Okay. Well, thank you very much indeed, Lord John Taylor. He is, of course, Lord Taylor of Warwick, and he joined me there from his office in Westminster.